Welcome to Polarys in Action Tip 1, How to use Polarys to inspire your staff to improve their practice. The following example is based on a true story. Meet Sheila, principal of Appletown Elementary School. It's a great school in a great town where teachers really care about the kids, each other, and the community. The culture was great at the school, but the state exam scores were not. A few years ago, the state was threatening Appletown with sanctions if they didn't turn the situation around, and Sheila was facing termination if the downward trend continued. Sheila decided to hold a staff meeting, calling everyone together and showing them Appletown scores compared to other schools in the district, to statewide averages and 5 years of trend data. She lay it on the line. How can we improve outcomes for our students? Even with the stakes so high, the staff was dismissive. Look, everyone knows these tests are rigged. They don't really test what I teach. Don't you understand? We have really high numbers of special ed students, far more than other schools. Of course our students don't do well on state tests. Other schools don't have as many high-poverty kids as we do. We can't be expected to do as well. Sheila had done her homework and was prepared. Using Polarys, she had a response to each excuse raised. If you look at our Polarys score over the last 5 years, you see that our scores started trending down when we switched to the Common Core. Let's look at our curriculum and see how well we're aligned. Taking a look at our special education population in Polarys, you see that we're underperforming expectations, even for a school with our rate of special ed students. Okay, let's look at our Polarys scores when we control for income. You can see that we're still underperforming expectations, even for a school with our rate of poverty. At this moment, Sheila could see the team was beginning to open up to her message of school improvement and student potential. Unfortunately, the next emotion the team felt was summed up by Mrs. Jenkins, who'd been at the school since before electricity. We're already working as hard as we can. We just don't know what else we can do. I've looked at our Polarys cohort and found 2 schools with similar high-needs populations that are knocking it out of the park. I've called the principals of those schools, and we're going to send a team to each one. Now, who wants to be on the visiting team? Sheila went with the teams to each of the sites, where they saw a wide variety of approaches to instruction, programming, scheduling, curriculum, and discipline. Some of the things they saw made sense for Appletown, and some of the things they saw were a terrible fit. The teams came back energized. They talked about what they saw, what they wanted to try, and developed an action plan. They agreed that they wanted to see significant gains in their Polarys score in the following year. 2 years later, Appletown's scores had risen so much, other schools started calling them to get their secrets. The school was taken off probation, and Sheila was ecstatic. Appletown's success was so impressive, the Lifetime Network made a movie of the week about Sheila, where she was played by Jennifer Lawrence. Okay, we made this part up. Here were Sheila's key action steps. First, she knew the specific challenges her teachers would have to the state scores, their low-income population, IEP rate, and disbelief in the validity of the exams. She'd used Polarys to dig in and find the evidence she needed to get them to agree that change was both necessary and possible. She planned with her staff through collaboration, focusing on the positive and building a realistic plan. Finally, her plan had inspiration built into it. By taking her team to see other schools like Appletown, she showed them that school can be different and that different can work. Sheila is one example of a school leader using Polarys to turn their school around. Look for more animated, actionable tips coming your way soon.